Let's go. Da. Good morning, y'all. What's up? We are live and in person Monday morning. How you guys doing today?
Good. How about you, man?
Doing well, man. Wild week, man. I can't describe it any better than that. It's been a wild one, man. How's things going in your neck of the woods, guys?
Honestly, over here, just waiting for playoff games. That's what this neck of the woods is. So it's like
that's all it is.
The longest month of the year.
It's good to be on, man.
It's gonna be a hot minute before we get there. I thought we had like a shorter window. Today's just the 11th.
Yeah,
we ain't anywhere near this shit. I thought we were like, okay, next week, right?
Yeah,
no, we got a while.
No,
after Christmas for that matter. So
yeah. It's so long that if you had injuries, like they all heal up before the game. You could have like a totally different team by the time the game comes around.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of good, right?
Yeah,
it can be.
Yeah,
us starving football fans don't want to hear that long.
No, we just want the game. We just want the games now.
Facts. Before we jump into our show, I want to just shout some condolences out to the Wycheck family. I'm not sure where they're located, but former Tennessee Titans tight end Frank Wycheck, who I recall very, very well. He was part of the Music City Miracle in the 1999 playoffs. Threw a lateral, I think, to Kevin Dyson, I think it was.
Yeah.
He became a household name. Blue collar mentality, man. He died Sunday, man, at 52 years old, which is kind of rough to hear because I'm right there, you know. And I'm like, wow. I think he felt it hit his head and just was unresponsive, and it's like a horrible way to go out. In actuality, my father kind of went out in a similar way. He had an aneurysm and something like that too. So this was like kind of shook me up a little bit to hear this, but he was an incredible part of NFL history, man. So we send condolences out to him and his family and the Titans organization. He's I don't know if he's going to get be in the Hall of Fame. I know he was a career receptions wise. He ranked right behind Shannon Sharp and Ozzie Newsome and Kellen Winslow. So I don't know if he gets in on that alone or not, but God bless him and his family, man. You guys remember him at all in his playing days?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And of course, the Music City Miracle, because that's one of those you'll never forget sort of games and plays. So,
and you follow the Titans too, so you kind of remember all that stuff really good, right, Herb?
No, I've not been a Titans fan all my life. I've been a Titans fan since like Derrick Henry was there, and probably next year I might not even notice him anymore when he's gone. So
okay,
but it's funny. I was a Houston Oilers fan though. I even had that little starter jacket. So yeah, they kind of got a little love, yeah. So
well, I mean, you kind of had to be, right? You had Warren Moon back there.
Yes, you had Warren Moon. Yep.
Oh my!
That was my favorite player back in the day.
Yeah,
I can't blame you for that. That was good stuff back then, man.
Absolutely.
Oh man, well, we got the poll question on Twitter several days ago. He's asking some questions, and the Twitterverse, at least in my circles, they went crazy off of this. But the question was, do today's athletes care about winning, or do they just care about getting paid? And he just kind of started a snowball of all kind of comments, NIL comments, and it just went nuts. I had it. They're talking about the NBA, and I'm tempted to ask Raj if he celebrated the championship with LeBron the other night. I asked Raj if he was part of the celebration.
My text feed says that he was. So
okay.
I'm in a text feed with two other Lakers fans, and I can show you the pictures where they've posted up the banner. And I think my response was, "That's great."
I heard he won a championship the other night.
I think my response was, "That's great," because that's the last championship LeBron will ever win. So
nice.
I did post something about who's the GOAT based on Steve Kerr's comments. I love how that response went too. That was really good. So
yeah.
I'm going to be reposting that constantly because it was that good to me. that's our poll question sitting out there right now. But it kind of brings some things to mind because we're in a new world to me of participation trophies now. We got high priced players that don't care about winning. They kind of I forgot the football player who just, I think he was on wasn't the Packers. He was he just stopped playing in the middle of the game.
No, you're talking about on Pittsburgh.
We talked
wide receiver on Pittsburgh.
Deontay Johnson. We talked about it, and it was like, wow, that's really funny. It makes me want to say, where's the warrior nowadays? That's why when we talk about the NBA, which is something that I can hardly say to do now, you know what I'm saying? But when we do that, I always reference the 90s because that was the era of the warrior to me. These guys were, I mean, who remembers Vinny Microwave Johnson? Hardly nobody, but that man was a warrior. I love the way he played. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that were on the Sonics and Bo knows forward. These guys were warriors, but there wasn't no jumps. These guys didn't do all that flopping. They were out there fighting and hitting each other. Bill Lanebear was probably one of the dirtiest players in the game, but he was a warrior though. He wasn't a chump though. He wasn't a turkey like the guy from Duke. You know, he was for real. And these guys were warriors. When these guys cared, they had pride and integrity. It's kind of hard to locate that now. People don't value the struggle and value victory nowadays, and it showed up in sports, and it makes us we can't be as invested as we would normally be if these guys had that kind of attitude. I mean, if they don't care, why we can? We kind of fit in the bill, you know. We're kind of paying into this program or this system of them not caring. So
you look at it as at this point, they could just be bouncing through the back of the end zone, quitting on their team.
Mm-hmm. The salaries have just gotten too big too fast. And so it used to be where only the top tier players were getting paid. And so you realize, okay, winning equates to making more money. Now it's like, if I'm a mid-tier player, shoot, I can still make 20 million, 15 to 20 million in NBA for averaging like a double-double. Which, I mean, if I'm 6'10", you'd think that'd be pretty easy, right? To have a couple, rebounds drop in your lap or whatever. So the mid-tier players are getting paid. They're willing to bounce around to do whoever to pay them. And then it'd be nice if they win, but a lot of them don't care. And I know NIL is supposed to be good, but now you're getting paid for doing nothing right off the jump, So,
and that's some of the problem with the NBA contracts is they're getting paid before they step on the court, right? Some of those first contracts are big, like they're getting top money for never playing in the NBA yet, that's very weird to me. Like I want to see you take some snaps to make sure that you can play at that level.
Yeah,
that would be a nice idea. Test drive the car before you buy it. That's not hard to understand, but unfortunately we're in a place where it seems like that's people getting paid for what they haven't done yet.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting paid for what they have done. It's not just in sports either. I mean, to be honest with you, I think the people can agree. We even see this kind of mentality in the podcasting world too.
Sure.
Yeah. Kind of just doing their own thing. They kind of free balling, if you will. My wife hates me. If I say that term, she hates it so much, but I don't know a better way to describe it. Out here just free balling, kind of just doing whatever, and they don't care about the integrity of what we're trying to do. I mean, Bo has an incredible story he shared on his show many times of what he's trying to accomplish by doing this. It's not some fly-by-night thing for him. He has to get this done. He has to turn this into a vehicle that provides, And I think Herman Rogers feels the same way. I know I've mentioned it once or twice, not much. I've mentioned it on other on the podcast, just not on this one, just on during the week. But I mean, it's a real thing for some of us. Some of these guys out here, they just doing whatever, and it feels kind of icky to see that. And I guess you can see it in relationships as well. I mean, I was doing some stuff for our ministry, and and sometimes you see stuff that you don't exactly understand. Like, why we're here, right? We're trying to accomplish it. I'm taking time for my family to help do this. Do you understand why we're here? It's like everybody kind of just like casual about it. They don't really care about the big picture of why we're doing what we're doing. And you probably can see it in your family too. I mean, family that's probably one of the hardest parts. Family and in the parenting realm, it's not a joke. It's like people who have a lack of integrity and pride about what they do. It comes through. It's becoming the norm now. I think Herb alluded to that, man. So it's kind of weird to see that.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a lack of integrity, especially when it comes to the podcasting end, because some of the people that are in this are literally just doing it as a hobby. So they're not going to take it that serious anyway. So it's not really a lack of integrity in that way.
It's a general statement.
Other facets of your life, absolutely. But in this one,
general.
like there's definitely levels of where people are trying to go.
Yeah. I think with the podcasting part, and this is what I've seen, you probably have seen different on your end, more of the, I feel like I should have what they have, even though I don't do what they do.
Sure.
You know? That's where I'm going from the podcasting example of it, because that's what I see. You guys might see something different there, but people want to have, whatever you think success is, but all you do is get on with your pajamas and brush your teeth. You get in front of a mic and do what you do, and you don't care about your appearance. You don't care if it's professional, if the sound quality is good. You just do whatever you want to do. I think there
is definitely a entitlement issue, just in life in general at this point. Yeah. For me, when I would be hiring people for my business, people would come in and be like, "Oh yeah, I want top dollar," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, what's your experience? Like, what are we doing?" They're like, "Oh yeah, I've never done this." I'm like, "What are you smoking? Like, that's not how life works at all."
Yeah. I'm riding around with a kid who just started working with us. He's been there 2 months. He knows nothing about our business, even after 2 months. And he looks over at me and goes, "Yeah, I'm wondering when the boss is, when do we get a raise?" And I'm thinking, you're bringing zero value right now. Like, zero. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but this job that we're going to, I could do better by myself than with you. So like, there is no
100%.
Yes, and these are honest conversations. He's in there asking me like,
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. But it's to Bo's point. It's they do feel like there's a certain measure of what you should be getting before you ever done anything, and somehow it's come along to where this generation, like our generation, I feel like we didn't get nothing except better get out the house and don't come back until it's dark. And now it's like,
that street light come on.
Yeah.
So that right there was the dumbest, that was the dumbest rule ever when you think about it, because one, it changed all throughout the year.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like you had a set time to be home. And then they had this weird double standard, like do not come back until that comes on. But if it's on, you're in trouble. You're like, wait a minute. Like, it changes.
It's hard to get back home before it comes on. So it's like, it's going to be on. That's how we know it's on. Yeah. We can go home, right? So if it's on.
My question though, Bo, did you ever present this argument to your parents though? And how did that go?
That I don't remember. I'm sure if I did, it didn't go well.
That's why.
Very well.
I mean, it was legitimately a moving target, though. You're just like, this is dumb, right? Plus, when you were out with your friends, you were always gauging, like, all right, how fast can I ride my bike? Can I get there? Am I far away? Like, you were doing math problems you didn't even know.
Yes, you did. Distance to my house is this, and I walked today. So
everything I did, all my events that I planned out had to be in view of that street light.
Yeah,
that's how I knew it.
Or you did it in a loop, right? Like you kind of worked your way back home, so you were kind of closer towards the end.
Oh, absolutely. That's just smart, man. Tell you what, though, this is an unfortunate segue, but I want to go into the Marvin Harrison story. I don't mean that he's entitled. I don't know him. I don't know anything about his character, his personality, nothing about him. So this is totally unintended. Please don't at me thinking I'm coming against you guys. We already beat you, so I ain't thinking about y'all now. Okay. So we're just talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. as a.
You weren't gonna add him. You can now.
As a story. The story was that he was offered or has $20 to $25 million of NIL money on the table right now if he stays at Ohio State and not enter to the draft as a potentially a top 3 pick, I would say.
Right.
What are you guys thinking about that? I mean, I know that there's some arguments that have been made, at least on my Twitter page. You can go back and you can see it yourself, where people are saying, this is football, no guarantees, blah, blah, blah. Get your money while you can. Okay, that's fair. My question is this, and maybe after you guys share your point, you can speak to this as well. After that, suppose you get hurt at Ohio State. You took $25 million and you get hurt out there, like really hurt. What happens then? How does that affect your NFL future? Because then you probably won't be a top 3 pick, more than likely. You may end up falling down tremendously in who knows what round. And even then, there's no guarantee that you're going to be what people think you are right now. So just think about that as you are talking about the Marvin Harrison story in general, didn't add your thoughts about that last question at the end. So go ahead, Herbo Bo, jump in.
I'll jump in first on this. So the thing is I would take the money also. Because you could get hurt in practice in the NFL level, and your rookie deal, you aren't getting paid at all. Right? So, I mean, so much of what those rookie contracts are, I mean, yeah, there's a dollar figure that's guaranteed, obviously, but there's also a fair amount of it that's incentive-based. If you have 25 mil of NIL money, that's 25 mil. Like that, you're getting that. So, in that scenario, I would probably stay in school an extra year, get that guaranteed 25 mil. And, you know, I'm still betting on myself to not get hurt, you know, like you would in any other level of football. So, yeah, in that scenario I mean, I want to win, but if you're a top 3 pick, you're probably not going to win anyway, right? Like you're going to go to a bad team. So, I mean, I would probably take that guaranteed money, hang out an extra year. I actually don't mind kids having an extra year or two in college anyway, because the product when they get to the NFL is generally better. You know, they tend to be a more polished player than coming in and playing for a year or two and bouncing out. So, yeah, I mean, in that scenario, I don't think that's an entitlement thing. I think that's you got money coming to you. You're on a
entitlement
win.
What's that? Those words. I didn't use that word.
No, you said you didn't know. I'm just saying I don't think it is. So, but so yeah, I mean, I would say take that money, especially with the dollar figure that high. Like if it was $1 million, probably not, because if you're a top 3 pick, you know, you're going to make more than that in the guaranteed money in the NFL. But if you're upwards of 25 mil, you're not going to get that in guaranteed money on that rookie contract.
Okay, that's fair. How about you, Herb? What you think?
Well, I'm trying to look up, I guess, what the rookie scale is, and they're, you know, anywhere from the first to 7th pick, you're at 41 million to 27 million. But like Bo said, half of that is, you know, a lot of it ends up being kind of your signing bonus, stuff like that. I didn't think
it was that high.
Yeah, so I think the money will end up. Yeah, I think the money will end up shaking out where he's at, but no, for sure. I think I agree with Bo. You know, get the money wherever you can get it. You know. If he's honestly being offered 20 to 25 million to stay at college, they're Ohio State. They've got, I mean, you still think even with the incoming people, they're what, number 2, number 3 in the Big Ten for the next year, possibly with a better quarterback. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it either way. Because like you said, you're going you're going to be on a better position to win at Ohio State than you are whatever team you go to next year.
For sure. Well, and the other thing is that 25 million would be for this next year, right? Your 25 maybe in the NFL is for the next 4. So that's saying you make it through all 4 years. Or actually, as a first round pick, they have that 5th year option also. Right. So it's if you're talking 20, say it's the same number, say it's 25 mil, and you're doing it over 4 years instead of over 1. Right. That's easy math.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like you said, you know, he's got just as much chance of getting hurt, I guess, the last year at Ohio State is the first year in the NFL. So
for sure.
I'm not really harping on that part of it. I just, you know, I'm just throwing out scenarios. I mean, I know what happens when you get on the NFL football field and something happens. You will make sure your family's taken care of, because a lot of times the org doesn't do as much for you as you may assume they will because they have so much money.
Right.
It's all about the contract. So I just hope that he comes in with the right attitude when he does come to the NFL. And, you know, because like most of those guys that were in college that was eating ramen, you know, they're gonna see this guy who got 20, 25 million. He's probably not eating ramen. He's probably going to place that his college classmates cannot go eat. You know, you want to have the right attitude in that field, because it could be an ugly situation. You come inside there thinking you're better than everybody else.
Yep.
You can be, and on top of that, the pedigree of what your father did in the NFL, you could have a really hard life, a hard NFL life, if you come in there with the wrong attitude. Just something to think about. We got some folks coming in on the comments section. Back it up, Binge.
Hey.
In the house. Good morning. This one for you, Bo. Mama's talking to you now. Pay attention to Mama now.
I did make it home.
Mama said you always made it home on time.
Yep.
Oh boy, you a good boy, bro. Raj, one half of the Herb and Raj podcast, shown every Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. CST. Good morning, my guy. How you doing out there? Hope you're doing well. Friend of mine from the Twitterverse, KO News. You do sports and wrestling. First time listening to KO's in the house. Good morning, KO.
Thanks for stopping
right.
in.
Yes, sir.
It's our guy. The Air Raid Attack Podcast.
Mike.
4 games left. Denver 1 game back in the AFC West. It's going to be a fun December. Let's go. Who's Mike rooting for?
Denver Broncos.
I had no idea he was a Broncos fan. I had no plan to talk about them today, but now I guess we have to, huh? Oh, man. All right. Back to the Binge Podcast. Great opening topic, guys. Good stuff. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Mike is Denver Broncos and Oklahoma and OKC Thunder.
Where's the Colorado connection come from? Do you know? Did he tell you that?
No idea.
Okay. It's Colorado, Oklahoma, they're not exactly.
And I know he's told me before too, and that just shows you what I'm getting old and how bad my memory is. So I 1000% know he told us on his first show. And
fair point. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I apologize, Mike. I apologize. Don't hate me.
No, I don't think he will. You talk about the Oilers, he bought the logo up. Yeah, that logo was really, really good.
It was, yeah.
So, in the top 10 of logos, I'm not quite sure it's in the top 3. I thought it was really, really good. I loved Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody else on the whole team but Earl Campbell. To be real. I don't remember the quarterback. I remember Earl Campbell. But that's where I was coming up. So that's what it was. All right. Great comments. Thanks for joining us, guys. And keep the comments coming. We got more to talk about. Power rankings. Who's going to be the guts you want to come up first? Mine's going to be crazy.
I'll go first. Yeah, I'll go first because this way it can only go up from there after I do my rankings. So
perhaps.
I set you guys up. What I think has been coming like 3 weeks coming, I got San Francisco at number 1. Probably my worst number 2 in a long time. I'm leaving Philly there with no faith whatsoever. Yeah. There were several teams I wanted to move up, but I was like, is Miami going to be up there? But they beat Miami, No, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. Dallas, I'm sorry. I've got number 2, not San Francisco.
Oh, my goodness. Now I'm even more appalled than before.
Yeah. I got to give them their due. I predicted when we did the beginning of the year, I said Dallas will win the division, but Philly will do better in the playoffs. Don't know about the Philly part of it, but I always felt like Dallas would win the division this year. I just felt like Philly would take a small step back, and they had the tougher schedule. But I always felt like San Francisco would be, one half of that the NFC championship game going on to the playoffs. So I'm not so confident anymore in the Philly part of it, especially if Dallas gets home field. But I feel confident in the San Francisco part. But
okay.
San Francisco, Dallas, Baltimore, then Philly. I didn't drop them that far. Miami, and before Raj says anything, Philly beat Miami, so I couldn't give them a spot over there. Sorry.
We know that's coming, so we're kind of ready for that.
Yes. Right. Then Detroit, KC. I don't know what's going on there now. It's
I can tell you what's going on, but keep going. I know what's happening.
Yeah. Then Cleveland, Jacksonville, and I have nobody at number 10. Like literally,
come on now. Okay. The top 10 ranking, man. You better pick somebody right now, man. Come on.
Fine. I'm gonna pick Houston because I root for them. But
copy that. That's good. Now I feel better. You don't mess up our rankings with that nonsense.
To be fair, like the last 3 spots were tough.
Yes.
Because some of the teams you had there all took L's.
Yes.
you're just like that like 8 through 10.
My bottom 4 was too rough.
What is it? The whole AFC South lost, and so they're all still trying to get to the 8, 9, and 10 spot with the Titans playing tonight. So
I'm gonna drop mine and let Bo go ahead and round us out. So my number 1 is gonna be the Niners. No sense moving off of that. They're the most complete team, and they keep on showing it. As long as Debo is there, though, that Ayuk fella, we gotta talk about him at some point in time. Might not be today, but we gotta talk about that, man. Because when Sammy was out, that was he tried to be number 1, and he would never take the baton. He would never do it. And now he's out there yesterday screwing up. Gotta talk about him. He's gonna end up getting cut. All these Giant fans talk about, yeah, man, I want Ayuk. Are you stupid or something? Are you watching what he's doing? I don't want him on our team. Anyway, number 2, I got the Ravens there. They've consistently done it against teams that were, I guess, from a quality standpoint versus who the Cowboys have played. They've done it more consistently with more better matchups, I guess you could say. So I got them at 2. I got the Cowboys at 3. Oh, it pains me to do that.
Yeah.
I got them at 3 because they've earned it. They played 2 teams, winning record. Hooray! So I got them at 3. 4, I got the Eagles. I couldn't drop them, but so far because they got to maybe take another L, another 2 before I drop them down too far. Dolphins at 5. They've been at 5 for like I don't know how many weeks. Come on, Miami, do something. Surprise me. Entertain me. They've been sitting at 5 for a while. I got the Browns at 6. My biggest jump. I out of necessity, I had to, man. I mean, because they're doing it with Joe Flacco. And it's like they do it. Now their offense is looking better. We're talking about defense for how many weeks now? 4 or 5 weeks? Their offense actually looks good now. Deshaun.
They got playoff Joe Flacco for a game at least. So.
Deshaun, what you gonna do, bro? Deshaun, what you gonna do, bro? I got the Chiefs at 7. I know we ain't got time to talk about that because like I've been talking about this since like what when we just both like week 2, week 3. I said, watch what happened. They rely on Mahomes, do all that them cool magic tricks. Yep. That ain't gonna get the job done. That's not gonna do it. And Kelsey can't catch every single pass you throw. Kelsey can't catch every pass you throw. Yep. All the wide receivers that they let go or whatever happened, it's gonna come back to bite them. And now the running game was starting to suffer. We know if Clyde Edwards-Helaire will even have a job at the start of the season. We know what was going to be his situation. Everything was riding on Pacheco, and now Pacheco's out. Like, what you going to do now? They missing a lot of offensive pieces. That's what's going on with them. It's a lot of pieces missing, and Mahomes trying to do it by himself. Now he out there throwing helmets and crying and whatnot. I never seen that one before. This is a whole new meltdown for your Super Bowl champions. I got the Lions at 8. I don't know what to say about. I don't know how to make it sound good. They look like trash.
Yeah.
I'm
telling you, they look like they knew they won the division and they're making the playoffs and they're willing to just coast to that spot. And that's really what they look like.
I don't understand. You got a chance here to change the course of history. Like literally, because your history blows. You are a dumpster fire historically. And you got a chance to change that. And here's what you're doing: losing to these underrated subpar teams. Really?
Yeah.
And can't talk about. I'm gonna have to just be more mean and more intense. That's your plan.
I see Raj over there. The Drake needs to be like Miami. Just only lose to the good teams. Rogers beat up all the bad teams.
Rogers coming in hot. Rogers coming in hot over here. Okay. Hurry up. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Yes.
Stay focused. All right, so I got the Jags at 9. They're on the way out. I got the Texans at 10. I didn't know who else to put there. See? I feel like after the loss, they still looked good enough overall because when Stroud went out, I don't know what's going to happen if he's out for a long period of time. This could be pretty bad, but if not, I think they're still a top 10 team. Go ahead, Bo. Jump in yours real quick, faster than we did, man. Please.
All right, so I got the Niners at 1. I have the Ravens still at 2. I have the Cowboys jumping to 3, which is so weird. I have the Dolphins at 4. Eagles drop to 5. Lions at 6. KC still at 7.
There you go.
KC still at 7. Jags still at 8. The Bills jumping in like Kool-Aid Man. They bust in again. They're there at 9, and then I have the Browns at 10. So a lot of shuffling at the bottom of the list there. And
the Bills over the Browns.
I feel like all of those will change again next week because all of these teams are just super inconsistent.
Yes,
I'm not putting the Bills over the Browns. I don't care. I don't see that.
I am because Flacco.
Yes. Even the game that they won the other night, it was like,
it's like watching Flacco play quarterback.
I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna do that. I can't put them in the top 10. They ain't ready for that part yet.
I mean, there was a time where you'd watch him, you'd be like, okay, but now you're just like, all right, wow.
Yep.
Nah, I can't do it. But we got we're gonna go through some NFL breakdowns and then our comments. That we got a few comments coming in that we'll talk about at the end of the show, like we always do. For you guys that are new to the show, we kind of break down the comments at the end of the show.
Oh, I did actually want to hit your Ayuk statement about him being a number 1.
Go ahead.
So Ayuk he's obviously not a number one. You know who he is?
Mhm.
He's Juju. That's what he is. Like if he has a number one on the opposite side, he's Smith-Schuster for sure because he can run the route tree, he can make passes, but he can't be the number one. If he has a number one, he can ball out. As soon as he's asked to be the number one, he comes up short. Ayuk is that guy. I think Ayuk's a little bit better than Juju, but he's that kind of guy.
Yep. I think he's been a good number two for them.
I'm not a huge Juju fan, though.
I don't recall Juju dropping passes all the time. Do you? I don't remember that about him.
When he had to be the number one, he dropped a few, yeah. When he had to be the number one.
I would call him being that guy in Pittsburgh that he dropped so many passes. Like, this is odd.
Well, no, it wasn't until he left because he wasn't the number one most of the time for the Steelers. He had Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so he didn't have to drop a lot. He didn't have the best coverage on him. Antonio Brown got the best coverage. Soon as he became the number one, he did start having drop passes. And I mean, he just didn't evolve into that number one target. And Ayuk makes me think of that. I'm not saying he's a bad player or he's trash or a scrub. Like he's an elite player. He's just not that number one guy.
Right.
I hesitate to call anybody trash. You said the Bills played like trash last night. I don't think they actually are trash, but that's all. But for the Ayuk comparison, I can't. Okay, I can accept that.
I think it's not a bad thing. Like sometimes you have to know if you're Jordan or if you're Pippen, and if you're always a Pippen, that's not a bad thing. Just you got to realize you don't ever want to be the guy. Yeah. Yep.
I feel like this is not the same thing as Pippen. I feel like there's been time where Pippen has. I've seen him take over games when Jordan was deferring or whatever, which is kind of rare. But
right, and every number two has their moment.
I don't think Ayuk is exactly. It feels different to me. Maybe it's just me. Help me out, man. I don't think Ayuk is that.
We tried. I think he's a really good number two on a really good team with a lot of weapons. And when you don't focus on him, he shows up big. He and Purdy seem to have some kind of little connection. But the games when Debo was out, they weren't really that great, and their numbers suffered across the board. So I think you get Debo out there. Oh, never mind. Then okay.
Yeah,
that you make.
Yeah, he's a solid number two. Like he's absolutely going to produce as long as he's not asked to carry the load.
Yep.
I need some numbers to back that up. The whole solid number two thing. I need some numbers to. If you can find those, help me out because I'm kind of not convinced right now of that part.
Okay.
But all right, as far as the NFL breakdown, let's do it kind of different this time because I want to kind of roll through them so we can have time for our comments, which are we got a few here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Some love for you guys and something I'm like, oh, okay. Some attacks and things of that nature. So all right. So did you guys were you surprised by the Pats and the Steelers game? I'm pretty sure I picked the Steelers to win that game.
Definitely.
So
I did.
And I wanted to change it in our pool, but I said I don't think you can change it after you set them.
Yeah, once kickoff of Thursday night locks, it locks the list.
That's what I thought. When everybody on TNF picked the Steelers, I said, immediately I grabbed my phone like, I'm gonna text the guys right now. I gotta change this pick. I couldn't change it. I said, I can't. It's too late. I want to change it right. That's it. There's no way. Everybody picking the Steelers, they ain't gonna win this game. Watch.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened. Bailey Zappi threw 3 first-half touchdown passes. Snapped a 5-game skid. I think they're the second 2-win team to hand the Steelers a loss at home, potentially hurting their playoff chances. Mm-hmm. These boys came out and played. And this is what brings my next question. Are they really tanking? It doesn't feel like that anymore to me because when I looked at how they look on paper, I mean, they had Hunter Henry, who I always thought highly of with the Chargers. Just had a lot of injuries all the time. He was a really good tight end, very good tight end, in my opinion. Then they got Gesicki, which was like stock in the tight end room for real. And then they had guys they brought in like a Juju. I'm blanking out on the other wide receiver they brought in. Shorter wide receiver that's pretty fast. I'm blanking on him right now. I'm not even sure he's even playing right now. But they had a lot of guys on paper.
Right.
You know what? These guys, and I think we even talked about it in our preseason show. Said somebody, I think y'all laughed at me about whether they can contend in the East. I'm like, I ain't saying they're going to win. I'm saying they can contend, at least be third. I thought it would do better than just. Honestly, I really did think that. But and then they got Zeke now. These guys came out there and played like they were trying to play for something. This is not a tanking kind of mentality. That's all. They were playing. I mean, Henry had 2 touchdown catches, which is like, okay. Zeke ran for 140 yards from the scrimmage. I mean, and caught a touchdown. I mean, Zeke was out there trying to juke people. It wasn't the same juke like you've seen back in the day because he's a little bit different now. But he was out there juking folks. I'm like, these boys ain't trying to lose. They're trying to win this game. Juju was for real about it, especially against his old team. They were playing with something different. These guys are not trying to tank, I don't think, man. Is that what you guys are seeing too?
Honestly, I don't know what they're doing there. Like sometimes they come out with looks like zero effort, and then sometimes they come out like they did against the Steelers, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna play." And I mean, you even had Zeke buy in. They throw a pick, and he chases the guy down. Like that's some energy you haven't seen out of Zeke in a while, right? So it's just kind of I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know if they know what they're trying to do.
Okay. I mean, and also don't forget this part. Everybody forgets this part. These guys got a top 10 defense.
Right.
We don't think about that because they got 3 wins. They're number 8 in the league in defense. Yeah. This is without their promising rookie Christian Gonzalez, who went out with a season-ending injury. Yep. So that's without him. Yeah. These boys are top 10 right now. I'm like, boys ain't trying to tank, man.
Yeah.
You don't play that.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't
think
think Belichick really cares about top draft picks either. So he seems like the kind of guy that's always traded regardless. So I guarantee he's not thinking, who am I going to get?
Why would he care? Why would he? He's done well picking wherever he picks.
Right. Yep. So
he really is underrated as, you know, in the draft from as far as the picks that they make. He's really underrated with that because they pick guys that come inside there. You might not have picked them yourself, but they do well in that system. So he obviously knows what he's doing. So why would you care? So I get that. These boys ain't tanking, man. they coming to win. They might. I don't know if Tom's gonna lose his job. I don't know if we're going that far with it, but his seat got warm after this game. He was like, "Wait a minute, Matt Canada was the problem, right? He's gone." Yeah. Y'all lit the world up after Canada was gone, and then after that, just went down. I was going to be on him, man. Nobody else to blame left. He's the only person that's left. Last man standing. So watch out. Tom's name could be in your news feed before you know it. Who knows?
He also doesn't have the guy he wanted, right? They got Trubisky, and you know what he is. So it's not. I mean, in the land of every quarterback is hurt. You know, they're in there with Trubisky. It's not like he was a winning quarterback at any stop. Right? Like he's never been that dude. So when you are on your backup and you're like, okay, he's never been that dude and you need him to be, I mean, what do you, that's like the Jets. Salah's going to keep his job for no other reason than everybody knew that Wilson wasn't the guy. So when Rodgers, like if they had this season with Rodgers, he'd be in some trouble. Rodgers blows out Achilles. He's back to Wilson. He gets a pass for this season because they're like, oh yeah, no, I mean, man.
The only challenge with that statement is that I have is that it feels like it's not exactly the same because when Pickett is in, we still see bad stuff happening, even when he's in.
Oh, I don't think Pickett's the guy. I'm just saying.
No. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that Trubisky's not.
Right.
Yeah.
So it takes some of the pressure off of the seat when you're like, well, yeah, this is like it'd be like jumping in a car race and they're like, cool, you got this Pinto wagon and you're going to go up against some Ferraris. Pull it off.
You still have those around? Pinto wagon.
There's probably a couple of them that haven't lit on fire yet.
I'm so old. Oh my god, a Pinto wagon. I feel like I'm really old right now. Well, there's a lot of games we can talk about. We could jump into. We got the Rams and the Ravens, the Lions and the Bears. That I hope we had time to touch that one. That's funny. That's everything that happened in that game was winning. But that's just a whole other story. We got the Texans and the Jets. I mean, nope, none of us, all of us got our picks wrong. I went back to go look to make sure we all were kept honest. All of us got the pick wrong.
Yeah,
Texans and the Jets, all three of us got that wrong.
absolutely.
Matter of fact, the whole league in the pool got it. I think they got that one wrong. Nobody picked the Jets.
I think there was actually one person that
No,
took.
I would do it. Nobody picked the Jets. Who was that?
Yeah. If you had told me they were going to score 30 points, I would have said in how many games? Like, there's just no way.
For sure.
We want to go, guys. I mean, we got about 20 minutes. We want to go. We got the Hawks and the Niners. We got the Bills and the Chiefs.
I think I'll start with Bills and Chiefs and just jumping in there. And it seems like every week the Chiefs are playing, they middling through the whole game. And something happens at the very end of the game, and that becomes the whole focus for the whole week. So right now what we're talking about is a guy who lined up so far offside, he may have been playing on the other side of the ball, and how that is anyone's fault but his own. And that's become the sole focus for the whole game, and not the fact that you only put up 17 points at home. And you just look like a mediocre team throughout the whole game. And so Tony, I'm surprised Tony just hasn't been cut at this point, because what's your best memory about Tony and what's your worst memory? And the worst memories just keep piling up, game after game. So the only thing I can really say about this game is it did that offsides took away maybe one of the best touchdowns you're going to see this year.
That was cool play.
Best improv plays. And then you go back and look at the replay, and I'm thinking, he didn't know he was offside. I mean, and the ref even had a little smart aleck. I don't know if you read this, but he said, what we're here talking about is a guy who was so far offsides that I couldn't even see the ball. So,
oh man.
So I don't know. It's,
this both word again.
Yeah, the Chiefs just look like a mediocre team. Defense is playing well, but you know how it is if your offense keeps putting you back out on the field. They're not sustaining drives. They have no great wide receiver play. And like you guys said, I think a couple weeks ago, Kelsey just looks a step slow. And when he's not, Kelsey, they just don't have anything else to go through. So
blame that on TJ.
Yeah. So
blame it on out there. That's TJ's fault.
He usually plays better when she's there, though.
Yeah.
the boy Ty, he weary because of TJ. But anyway, let's keep on. But this Bo's word again, entitlement. All the backlash, Reed, Mahomes, and the press talking, that's all entitlement. We deserve to have it. Is your entitlement?
Oh,
again.
And to Mr. Yu's point earlier, also 39 yards rushing from your leading rusher, 19 from the next guy up. Like that's passing game isn't working, running game is nothing. I mean, I like McKinnon a lot, man. I always have, but he's not your number one running back. It's not. At his defense, he only had 4 touches, so he averaged 4.8 a rush, but it wasn't, it wasn't there much after that. So it's like they kind of gave up on the running game because they knew it wasn't working. I don't know. It's just a lot going on in KC that's not right, except for the defense. So.
Yes, sir. I did call her Tay-Tay.
Raj on the ball.
That's what Dwayne and Rod Johnson called Tay-Tay, so that's I call her Tay-Tay. Yeah.
Man.
All right, so how about the Bears and Lions real quick? I'm gonna ask you a question about some of this game so that way we can have time to kind of get into a little bit. Did Justin Fields cement his position with the team by what happened yesterday?
I mean, who knows? Who knows what that front office is doing, or whether or not
whether
or not the front office is even going to be there next year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine, man. That's just blindfolded throwing a dart at the wall and hoping you hit something to figure out what that front office is doing.
They scored 15 points in 7 minutes. That's like against a team whose defense is supposed to be the juggernaut.
So their defense has not played well over the last 4 weeks, though. Like their offense has picked them up, but after the bye week, something's wrong with that defense because it has not been the same.
Yep.
I know there have been some injuries, but still, I mean, it has not been the same defense.
And on top of that, I think Fields broke a Bears rushing record for quarterbacks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether that gives him any kind of leeway.
That makes sense.
I mean, well,
when you think back to their quarterbacks, they didn't exactly have a list of super mobile quarterbacks.
I mean, the Bears have had a history of really good running backs, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to blast them like without doing my research first. Yeah, just a thought. All right, so what else? Rams, Ravens.
Yeah, I mean that was a fun game to watch.
It was.
That was such a better game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that well, because the Rams defense is good, and I mean the Ravens defense is a solid defense, and so I wasn't really sure that the Rams were going to be able to produce against it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, again, it was fun, right? It goes to overtime. Like that was a great game to watch. If you're a Ravens fan, you got to be a little bit worried, but the Rams have been punching above their weight all year. So, you can't be mad at it. I feel like they've really outperformed where I thought they would be. I thought they would end up being a 7 or 8 win team.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We lost it. Do you feel like though, if you watch that whole game, because I mentioned Ravens last week playing with their food. So do you think this is the Ravens playing down more or the Rams playing up, or is it kind of somewhere in the middle?
So this is where I think the Rams were playing up, because when you look at let me get back over to it, because
I think so too, man. Look at the weather conditions and look how Stafford was throwing out there. I mean,
that's the thing, right? He goes 23 for 41, 294, and 3 tugs. And it's not like Lamar had a bad day. He goes 24 for 43, 316, and 3 tugs. So, I mean, it's not like they were not having a good game. I mean, Lamar came out and was balling. If you look at the stat sheet just across the board, they're almost identical. I mean, it was an impressive game. It just I would give the credit more to the Rams here than the Ravens, playing down or barely getting out of there with a win. I give the Rams a ton of credit. They've played up to the competition they've faced.
Sounds good.
Yep, I agree. All right, so we got a little bit of time left before our comments. I don't know what games you want to touch that's left. I know the Texans and the Jets. I don't know what to say there except considering about Stroud.
That was ugly.
Stroud going down. Hopefully Stroud coming back in, because they had one of the most futile games in history. And then the Vikings and the Raiders, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And the Vikings and the Raiders,
oh my God. If that was in your market or you're a fan of either team, I just feel bad for you. My condolences this morning.
Horrendous. That was so
bad. I'm going to go almost 4 quarters with nothing. That's incredible.
In the modern NFL, too, with all the rules favoring you.
Yes.
That's incredible. The Texans lost 3 of their top guys. I'm talking about like their top edge rusher, their top wide receiver, I guess. And, he's a wide receiver, right? He played like a running back. I'm not sure which one, Tank Dell. But and my guy Nico from University of Michigan.
Yeah.
All 3 of these guys are out. So I expected them to have a fallback because of that. But the Vikings and the Ravens, I don't know. I mean, Jefferson did come in and go back out, but Dobbs looked like he was
he didn't even finish the game.
Severely struck. They brought in Nick Mullins, which I'm sure they didn't want to do that, but they said, we need a spark somewhere. So it happened.
He got him inside the 40. They were finally able to kick a field goal.
I mean, there was a bit of a spark, but I don't know if it was what they were looking for. But
no,
yeah, man, this is that was some bad football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad we found 3 games that we could talk about today.
I mean, there were some good games. There were some good games though, because even the Bucks Falcons, even though it was ugly gameplay, it ended up being a good game.
Right.
Like it was competitive the whole way. It's one of the good things when 2 bad teams get together, it can still be a good game, unless it happens to be the Vikings and the Raiders. But like that was terrible. On a side note, on a scheduling thing, if anybody from the NFL is watching this, please stop having 2 Monday night games at the same time. If we're going to do this, like have them back to back. Don't split the markets. Like we want to watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
They normally
and you have our undivided suspension. So
they normally have it back to back. I don't know why this was different. I mean, I know who's playing tonight. I don't know why they would do that. They don't.
Well, and even before early in the season, it still wasn't back to back. It was an hour different start time. So you'd start one, and then it'd switch over for the last hour of the last game. So, I mean, if you're going to do it, just start one early, play them back to back so that, we can watch these games. Because otherwise, I mean, like Herb said, you have our undivided attention. Why are you dividing it?
Let's go rapid fire here. I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions about 2 more games, and then the question about Monday Night Football. We got to get into our comments. All right, so help me out. We're going to go rapid fire.
Already on it.
Rapid fire. Broncos and Chargers. Is it time to move on from Brandon Staley now?
Yes.
Quick yes or no?
For 14 weeks.
Yes.
Eagles and Cowboys. In your opinion, can the winner of that game, which was the Cowboys in this case, can they beat San Fran, KC, or Baltimore?
They can beat
yes,
KC.
No, yes, no.
They can beat KC, you think?
Yeah.
Everybody can beat KC the way they're playing.
Yes.
Baltimore is probably a coin flip. They get smacked by the Niners.
Yeah.
Okay. The Eagles Cowboys situation is really weird because they got 4 tiebreakers and 3 of them are already a tie right now. So the big thing is the conference record, and Dallas is going to lose that because they lost to Arizona probably. So it's going to be really weird to see how the Eagles and Cowboys trajectory starts.
Yeah, Dallas probably needs home field more than any other team. It's a top team right now.
All right.
So I feel like the San Francisco could go to Dallas and win, but I don't think Dallas could go to San Francisco and win.
I mean, San Fran has proven. San Fran's proven they can take their show on the road. Like, it doesn't matter where they go. If they're healthy, they can beat everybody.
Yep.
I think that's true as well. All right, so before we get into the comments, one last question for you guys about Monday Night Football. I asked you about keys to the game. You guys ready to do that right now, or do we want to go ahead and hold
Bring it on.
Keys to the game for the Giants, the Packers, the Titans, and the Dolphins. What does each team have to do to win tonight?
Well, I'll give you the Titans. Rely on the run game, shorten the game. Maybe don't put too much on Levis, and don't give Miami very many possessions. For Miami, just take care of the ball. I mean, you're the favorite here. No stupid interceptions, no fumbles, and then just as Rod is watching, and it's a sub 500 team. You should take care of business tonight and go after that number 1 seed in the AFC.
I feel like somebody's saying jinx.
It just happens to be the game the Dolphins win. Is sub 500 teams.
So you say this is the trap game? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying take care of the ball. Don't give it away, and you should clearly win this game. Yes, I've made Rod's map.
There's a fact right there.
I feel like you're saying jinx. Somebody keeps saying jinx in my head, but who's putting y'all saying jinx?
No, I'm with you there. Basically, the Dolphins just have to show up and protect the football. The Titans have some very real work to get it done. The Titans, their defense is pretty decent, but for whatever reason, they just can't get it together on offense. And so, it's the Dolphins should cruise here.
Okay. Yes. Giants, Packers, real quick, man. We got touch these comments that are coming. Giants and Packers, go. Keys to victory.
Man, so the Packers have been playing much better as of late. This is another one where I think the Packers, as long as they're smart with the football, Jordan Love doesn't try and do too much, they can cruise to a win here. The Giants,
that's offensive. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and it should be. I mean, the Giants, they don't do anything particularly well, and
that's
so
a lie.
Sorry,
happening on defense. What are you talking about, man?
They collect L. They collect L.
Well? Nothing.
I don't love the product they put on the field. I don't. Okay. How
did the Giants win? If we do nothing well, how do we win? It's not possible.
No, it's definitely possible because I don't trust Green Bay to do the things I just said they need to do. I mean,
who'd you pick in the pick'em?
Oh, Green Bay.
Yeah. This almost feels like a game that the Giants need to make into an ugly game to win. Like it's really choppy and the possessions aren't smooth. It feels like
muddy the water.
money it up, and then
Packers to do what you said they were going to do, and you picked them to win. That don't make any sense, man. Those are two.
Yeah, because I'm looking at two teams I don't trust, so I'm going with the one I trust more.
Did he hear what he just said? I don't understand. Okay.
No, it'd be like walking into a room. There's two paths to where you want to go. One of them is busted glass and the other's Legos. They're both going to hurt. I'm taking Legos.
That's actually a great analogy. I got to give kudos for that. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and go to the comments now so you guys can tell me the comments. I'm about to explode and we ain't got time for that. All right. So, Mike from the Air Raid Attack Podcast. If you check him out on YouTube. 4 games left. Denver 1 game back in the AFC West. Talk about Russell Wilson a lot this season. I know I was the only one that agreed with what I was saying about don't sleep on Wilson. This can turn around really quickly, and look what's happening.
Yep. They got Detroit, the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So
they're all winnable games.
All winnable games.
Yep.
Back up Binge Podcast. Great opening topic, guys. Thank you. Good stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much. All right. Mike is responding to your point heard about Denver. He grew up watching Denver. Well, maybe my point, I guess. I asked about Colorado. Grew up watching Denver. John Elway was his team day one. It's all good, Herb. Much love, brother. All right. KO. What you got to say, baby? We are from the UK, so we don't know as much NFL as you guys. Fair point. But always follow Buffalo Bills for some reason. Oh, you know why. You know why you follow them. All right. Linda. Good morning, ma'am. 49ers, Cowboys, Baltimore, Eagles, and Miami. That's our top 5?
Yep.
That was my top 5.
Yep. Don't we get 5 more, Linda? What's going on? This is a top 10 power ranking.
No. She's just admitting the rest of the top. It's like,
oh, that's not nice.
I agree with that,
gosh, Raj. In case you guys know, this is Herb's brother who is turning red right now because he's saying Herb continues to leave my Fins out of the top 5. # Dolphins disrespect.
Technically, I had them at number 5. So Raj, I'll take that apology in writing.
No, it had to be in the thread so I can see it and Bo can see it as well. Thank you, Bo. Fins at 4. Bo got a new best friend.
Don't worry, that'll change.
We'll see.
Week to week.
I seriously think the Cowboys will make it to the Super Bowl. Good. Do me a favor, Raj. Keep saying that everywhere you go, okay? Say it and post it. Just keep doing that, please, okay? Because it's going to help me out. Because I know what's going to actually happen. Just keep that going, all right? Just keep saying that. The Cowboys are going to finally, since 1996, the year I got married to my beautiful wife, they haven't won anything. So please keep.
Oh, you know what? The Cowboys need an in-season tournament so they can win something.
Yeah.
They already had that last night. They had that last night. They had the championship last night.
Yeah, but they didn't get a medal though.
Aww. All I can say about Ayuk is that I had him on my fantasy team in 2021 when I won the whole league.
Yeah, but he wasn't the main target.
That comment is totally irrelevant.
He did rank out as the number 19 wide receiver last year. Ayuk did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
78 receptions, 1,015 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
As a solid number 2, that's where you should be.
Yep. That sounds great.
Yeah. Just admit you're never going to believe anything when it comes to Ayuk.
I'm saying I want to hear numbers.
You're basically telling me,
no, I'm a number guy. I need to hear numbers. Give me numbers.
But I just did.
That was 2 years ago, right? How about this year?
No, that was last year's numbers.
That was last year.
Last year's numbers.
Last year was hurt most of the time. He had to play. Depot was out almost the whole season, wasn't it? Give me something from this year. Depot was hurt this year too.
Depot was hurt this year too. That'll be your excuse on that one too.
No, it's not an excuse.
I give up on Ayuk. I give up on Ayuk.
Give me some numbers.
You got it.
Give me 2023 numbers. Put it on Twitter.
You got it.
Put it on Twitter. Okay. I'm with Raj. Dallas in Super Bowl facing my Broncos. Mike, are you kidding me? Keep that going, Mike.
Wow.
Retweet that, okay? Dallas and Broncos in the Super. Please retweet it. Please, Mike. Keep doing it. All right, probably not having the Broncos. Okay. Fair enough. You just call her Tay twice. Call who Tay twice? I said
Swift.
Tay.
You did.
We're talking about
Yes.
Tay.
Yeah.
This is Tay. Okay.
Yes.
To be fair, I was talking about Tay, right? Okay. Keep Fields in Chicago, build around him and for him. Part of me wants that to happen. My question is that what's going to actually happen? The Bears have been kind of their management hasn't been great. I don't know how else to say that. So they may go into the draft, try to get somebody else, and they end up having a disgruntled quarterback on their team, or have try to get a trade for him, and probably won't get what he's actually worth. This could be a nightmare if it's not played correctly. And I don't know anybody who actually wants him that I know about. So I don't know. This could be pretty bad. So what do you guys think real quick? Should they keep him or let him go?
It depends on what it is they're trying to do up front. So, I mean, personally, I haven't seen what they brought him in for, what they wanted to see out of him. And I think a lot of it could be coaching, but at this point, he's going to be expensive and you still don't know if he's the guy.
Yeah.
Copy that. All right. Up against it now. All right. Rogers is laying it in. I agree with all new best friends. Hashtag best friends forever. Only Miami should be playing tonight. We don't need that other team, the other game. I didn't say nothing against you or the Dolphins, Raj. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, it has nothing to do with the Giants. It has everything to do with anybody else could be playing. It could be Philadelphia and San Francisco.
Oh, I thought we were like fat.
You're taking it personal, but it's not personal.
We're gonna go ahead and leave that one hanging because we ain't got time. I don't have time to go there. We gotta go ahead and end this show. Herb is permanently tired. Don't listen to him. I don't even know what that I don't know what that means. But thank you guys again for joining us. Any parting thoughts before we break out?
No, just another great Monday, man.
Yeah, so great way to start off my day. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Wherever you are and however you're hearing, they call me Mr. U, the podcast. Thank you again for joining us and supporting our show. Don't forget Football Talk with Bo everywhere on YouTube. He's all over the place. The Herb and Raj podcast again, maybe Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. CST. Thanks for joining us. Deuces.